Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. We are back after being iced over here in Texas, back in action. It is now 84 degrees in Texas because what a bipolar state, right? Jesus Christ. Anyways, we are doing things a little bit differently today with the Yamcast. We are starting off our first section with an interview we did with Michael Locke. He is the CEO of American Flat Track Racing. We had a great conversation with him that we're going to show you guys right now. Eric over from your team or the PR agency working with you guys was saying that you have seen the podcast or seen the channel before. Is that right?
Yep.
Wow. A fan of the channel, Spike. Can you believe it?
That's crazy.
How did you find the content, or how did you hear about it? I'm curious.
Oh, no, look, I was talking with Eric about this actually a little while ago when we first got together with the agency. We were talking about some of the vehicles, talking about the series and where we could go, and you guys came up. So I just went away and did some research. So that I wouldn't be a complete idiot when I spoke to you.
We did the same thing. Yeah. We've heard you had quite a pass at Ducati and Lamborghini and Triumph, which is very cool. But, you know, we were curious, as a guy from Great Britain, what brings you to America to try to revitalize the oldest form of racing we've got over here? What's the connection there?
It's a sick joke. No, really. No,
oh, okay.
I think I've actually been longer living in the US, at least as an adult, than anywhere else in the world. You know, I go back to the UK, well, obviously not in the last year, but when I go back to the UK, I feel like a visitor.
Right.
I've been here so long. My kids were born here. I've lived all over the country. You know, I almost feel like a local now.
Well, that's great. I was very curious to hear your thoughts on this because I think for a lot of folks who are getting into racing, one of the first things that we find here in America might be, you know, AMA, or as now it's called Moto America, you know, road racing. Maybe it's supercross or dirt bikes for a lot of guys. And then maybe you go to GP. What do you think is kind of the standout feature for flat track racing that makes it exciting in your opinion? Like what is something about flat tracking that is different than any other kinds of form of racing that other people might not know about, besides, you know, the crazy slides and the high horsepower?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'd say is that I think Americans have a different relationship with motorcycle sport than Europeans do. Mm-hmm. In Europe, like everything, it's kind of in the blood and has been done for generations, and the passion is there, and people follow motorcycle sport in huge numbers. You know,
yes.
If you watch any of the MotoGPs and you look at the crowds, the places are slammed. MotoGP gets bigger crowds in Europe than Formula One.
I love to hear that. That's great.
Right. And I can tell you, growing up as a kid in England, you grow up with this stuff. I mean, and I think it's partly because of the relationship you have as you grow up with a motorcycle, because no one except the super rich in Europe think that the first thing their kid's going to do when they get to be 16 is drive a car. Almost no 16-year-olds drive a car. Actually, in the UK, you can't drive one till you're 17, but you can get a motorcycle license when you're 16. So everybody grows up fantasizing about bikes, you know, that independence, getting out of the house, scaring your parents, all that good stuff is on two wheels first, not four. So it introduces a whole kind of different culture. So I would say that the challenge in promoting a series and growing it, any kind over here in the US, is different than it is in Europe. You really have to try harder. And you have to bend the sport to be more of an entertainment property and less of, let's say, a pure sport. That was the first thing I learned, really. But within all of that, I really felt American Flat Track had some inbuilt advantages. They weren't being exploited back in 2015. In fact, they may never have been exploited, but I felt it had some raw ingredients that really lent itself. One was, it was invented here. This is an American motorcycle sport. Motocross and supercross and road racing and all the others are all from somewhere else and have been developed or perfected here. But this is really from the heartland. You can trace this back to, the 1920s and the board races and kids in small Midwest towns in the 30s and 40s, turning left around cornfields. There's a story to tell. There is a story to tell, which I think, harks back to the original point I made, is you have to try harder in the US. You have to make it romantic. You have to demystify it. Otherwise, who cares? So I felt that it had a kind of authenticity and a heritage that we should be speaking about, number one. Number two, compared to road race, or even compared to supercross, it's relatively cheap to get into it. You can go racing without having to have millions of dollars around you and a huge crew. So I felt that, in these impoverished motorcycle times of the last 10 years or so, this was a good time to build a pro motorcycle sport that a talented kid could get into. The third thing I noticed, which I thought was particularly timely, is that if you come to an AFT race event, you'll see qualifying and practice, and then at least 9 races during the evening before you go home.
That's fun.
Okay, so there's heats and semis and main events. So and guess what? All the races are short. Short is good these days because no one can do it for half an hour. The fact that our longest race of the whole day is the final main event for the Super Twins, and it's 15 minutes long.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So you get if the race is not going well, if someone's cleared off in front, guess what? It'll be over soon.
Yeah.
And then the next race is coming, and you get to see the progression through the evening. So you can watch qualifying, and some kids super fast, and you remember their number and you remember their name, and then you watch them through the heat races and the semis. How do they progress? And the other guys catch up. So, I felt that what I found in 2015 was a sport that kind of talked to itself. It's a sport that all the money had gone. Kenny Roberts, bless him, was the greatest icon for flat track and its worst enemy. Because when he joined Yamaha and went Grand Prix racing in Europe, everybody else said, "Wow, that's where the money is. That's where the
Yep.
And they were right. And there was that golden era of awesome American road racers, which I grew up with in England. Going to see these guys, Roberts and Rainey and Spencer and Lawson, all these guys. They all came from flat track. They didn't stay in flat track. They left it. So when I was looking at all this, I realised that when the stars went, the manufacturers went with them. And when the manufacturers went, the sponsors went. And all that left was a diminishing crowd. So it became a kind of by us, for us sport, which is, in my book, amateur, not professional.
Yeah.
We've had to reverse that. We had to unpick some things, and it's been not only somewhat inward-looking, but with that goes conservative, like deeply conservative, that people don't like change. Yeah. Well, they don't like today, but they don't like tomorrow either. So managing that is part of the challenge, and that's what we observed. So anyway, with all that said, I felt the raw ingredients of flat track were awesome. The format lent itself to TV, it lent itself to the younger generation. It's inexpensive to get into. And our ace in the hole was that I felt we could put Harley Davidson and Indian on a racetrack.
That's pretty good.
You say that to any European and they'll have you carted off to the funny farm. These are the home teams. And these are two huge companies out of the Midwest, Polaris and Harley, multi-billion-dollar companies. And there's nowhere else on earth they can knock 9 bells out of each other. This is it. They can't compete at retail because all the Harley stores are exclusive Harley stores, and Indian have set up their stores to be the little meccas for Indian. So the interested motorcyclist who's thinking Harley, Indian, they have no reference points. And you could say, well, on the track they're not exactly racing those bikes that you cross country on, but it's about the brands, it's about competition, it's about winning everything. And I felt that was magical back in 2015-16 when Indian contacted us and said, hey, we're kind of interested in flat track, can we talk to you? And that for me was the missing ingredient back in 2015 that justified the investment we've made in the sport now to grow it from where it was to where it is now.
Yeah, one thing we mentioned on the podcast at one point was, because we love the FTR platform that Indian has, and we were really sad to see the Bronx platform that Harley was going to put out that I saw at EICMA a few years ago in Italy, and I saw it in person, and I was like, wow, Harley's going to make a sport bike, and we were saying, wouldn't it be cool if Harley made like a flat tracker style of this bike and, competed with the FTR and did all this thing, but, Harley's going to Harley, and then it kind of just disappeared off the website, but they made the Pan America, so it looks like they're going in the right direction, but it would be really cool if they ended up making some sort of flat tracker bike.
I agree with you, and I would say never.
Yeah.
I know that they have the so at one point they were making the XG line for the street, which they've kind of since walked away from, but I believe they made the 750R, the XG 750R, which was kind of a corollary to the Indian FTR 750 flat track bike.
Correct, yes.
We look at a normal motorcycle and we can kind of see the lineage from, GP, these sport bikes with their trickle down technology. What makes these, flat track bikes so special? What makes them? Because I look at a flat track bike and I see images conjured in my head from superbikers from the 70s.
That's funny you say that. Okay, so the guy who was the designer for the Ducati Monster, who went on to go and work with MV, very talented guy. I remember him saying a long time ago when asked about why is the Monster so cool and why do people fall in love with it? And he said it's easy to answer that question. He said it's what everybody thinks a motorcycle looks like. 2 wheels, engine, gas tank, handlebars, flat seat. This is the romantic, almost deconstructed idea of a motorcycle. Flat track is the racing equivalent of that. Wide flat bars, big chunky front wheel. We all know that on the street, a 21-inch wheel with chunky tires not going to get you through the corner that fast.
Yeah.
It looks cooler than anything, right? You look at all these special builds, you go to the hand-built show, or you see all this stuff online, and the stuff that you fall in love with, it's unrideable, guys, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It looks like you ought to enjoy it, and I feel that with flat track. I don't come from a flat track background for 30 years, and I didn't grow up in a country where anyone flat tracked. So it's not in my blood, it's not in my bones. But you look at the bikes, I look at the bikes, and I say, yeah, that's cool. I want to ride that. And so I think it's got that appeal. And one of my guys said a few years ago, and it stuck with me, that really flat track racing is if you put road racing and motocross in a blender. Because the bikes do physically have to get round corners and perform somewhat like a road race bike, but it's on dirt and you're losing traction, and with the TTs you have a jump, and so if you come from a motocross background, you can look at flat track and you've got some reference points. If you come from a road racing background like I do, you can look at flat track and you've got lots of reference points. One of the first things I did when getting involved in this is I made 3 phone calls when I first took the job. One was to Arai, one was to Dayanese, and the third one was to Olin's. Why? Because I know those guys, I know what they can do. It was wide open for them to come into flat track because there were scary helmets, scary leathers, and even scarier suspension in flat track a few years ago. But those guys could come in and get it quickly. And that's because of this, this almost this umbilical cord between the different disciplines of motorcycle racing, but flat track sits in the middle.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Let me pick your brain about something. Speaking of that multidisciplinary aspect of it, you look at someone like Valentino Rossi's Instagram account, and he's always flat tracking and training and doing that way. And more, you see these GP guys doing motocross in the off season to get better in regular road racing. Do you see a world in which AFT and even Moto America, for that matter, is a feeder system to other disciplines of motorcycle racing? Or maybe you can start building talent in America that then goes overseas, comes back here. I'm thinking about someone like Garrett Gerloff, for example, right? World Superbike guy. Maybe he comes back to America and you get him on a flat track bike and he's like, oh, this is part of my training, right? This helps me as a rider get better to go and compete in other places. Do you think AFT has a place in the world in that regard?
I don't think there's any doubt about that. And if you go back to that golden era of the 70s and 80s, the flat track kids grew up and became road racers.
Yep.
And became world famous. There was a time, I remember as a teenager, there was a time when only Americans could win Grand Prix racing.
Unthinkable now. Literally unthinkable.
Clearly not in your lifetime, but in my lifetime. Only Americans could win Grand Prix racing. And it was a little frustrating, actually. But when we all understood on the other side of the water why they were so good, it made perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I'll never forget it, at Donington Park one year, cold and wet, obviously. And I was standing at Coppice Corner. Mm-hmm. And I watched Freddie Spencer. This is maybe the first time I'd seen him. I watched Freddie Spencer come up the hill and into the corner for 3 laps. And I said, there's something wrong here. Okay. I can see smoke coming off his front tire. Surely that's not possible. And we'd never seen anything like that. Not even with Barry Sheene, who was, awesome. But no one was doing this stuff in Europe. And so the Americans were way ahead and dominated the 80s for that. So there is a history of the discipline of learning to ride flat track, a lot of which is, counterintuitive to a street bike rider. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go on flat track, you go to a flat track training camp or a school, and they make you unlearn everything you know. Yeah. If you're capable of unlearning it. If not, you land on your butt. So there is something in that it broadens the skill set. I think it's changed since the 80s, and I think that the change is electronic intervention. Mm. If you look at the technology available on road race bikes, particularly at MotoGP level, they've had to, the brain has to work in a completely different way. It focuses on different things. And you look at a rider like Marc Marquez, and he's doing things that are physically impossible. That's because his brain is allowed to concentrate on that narrow spectrum, because the bike's doing a lot of other things. So he does things that we watch and we say that's just insane, because it is. So it's not like it was in the 80s, but I still think the principle is maintained. So could flat track be a feeder for international road racing? I don't know. Maybe international road racing could be a feeder for flat track.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know. I think that we've had road racers and supercrossers and motocrossers guest in our series over the last few years, and you get them on a TT or on a short track, and the really good ones can hang with our guys. There was a one-off sporting event called Super Prestigio a few years ago in Barcelona that we did like 4 years on the road. And Marc Marquez came with the most evil-looking CR450 I have ever seen. This was built by the little gnomes in HRC who are never allowed out.
Yeah.
This bike, off the bottom, looked a bit like a CR450 until you got close to it. Yeah. And then you realize that even the levers on the handlebars were probably $1 million. Yeah. And there were switches all over the bike that we had no idea what they were doing until you sit in the grandstand and you watch Mark go around. You think, that noise coming out of that bike's very odd.
Yeah.
But the fact is that Marquez could hang with Jared Mees, could hang with Brad Baker, not always beat them, but in that tiny short track environment with some evil multi-million-dollar motorcycle could hang with them. But in my first season here, we got Troy Bayliss over.
Cool.
And I knew Troy obviously from the Ducati days. And it was a dream of Troy Bayliss's to one day be able to race an American flat track mile. That's what he wanted to do. It was on his bucket list. I guess if you're Troy Bayliss, your bucket list is pretty small these days.
I was going to say, yeah.
And he came to race with us. He trained in the preseason. He rode a Ducati, Lloyd Brothers Ducati flat track bike. And we had no idea how Troy was going to do. And I was kind of secretly hoping that he didn't spank the field because it wouldn't reflect very well on our racers if he could do. But we had no idea how he'd do. In reality, the racing on the mile even scared Troy. And he's like, the toughest Australian you've ever come across, and you wouldn't think anything could scare him. It did scare him, and he crashed at Springfield and broke his leg while being nowhere near the front. So flat track, yes, there are skills in it that translate to other series, but it's a very specialized sport, and the margin for error in flat track is really small.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. We were doing some background research. I was here in the office with Josh and came across a photo of a guy who must have high-sided at some point at a flat track event, and he was probably 15 feet in the air with his feet just still kind of moving and dangling. There's another guy flipped over. I was like, oh, you kind of forget sometimes because it looks like they're under this very controlled slide, but these guys are always on the knife's edge of just literally high-siding at any moment, right?
They are. And in fact, that I'm sure that clip you saw was from Texas Motor Speedway.
It was, yeah.
3-4 years ago.
Yep.
And it was a spectacular crash. And thankfully, no one was really seriously injured. But yeah, it was Steve Bonzi. Steve Bonzi went into orbit because
this guy was like 15 feet in the air.
That's unbelievable.
It was crazy. Yeah,
more than 15 feet. It was nearly double that.
Wow.
Yeah, he went straight up. Unfortunately, he came straight down.
Yeah,
but you're right. One of the interesting things about flat track is that it almost looks like high speed. Synchronized swimming until it goes wrong. And when it goes wrong, then you lose traction. And these motorcycles are big motorcycles. They are long wheelbase for obvious reasons. For turning, you need stability. And the twins are weighing anywhere between about 325 and 375. So that's a missile when it's not going where you want it to.
Absolutely. Yeah. One thing that we've seen as well is Royal Enfield's renewed involvement, or I guess new involvement in flat tracking, and it looks like they're really trying to get out there and do a bit of a different thing in that they're trying to get new riders to come in and just experience the slide, right? They just want people to feel what it's like to slide around a bike, and I've got a Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled as my kind of local bop around kind of bike, and one of my favorite things is just kicking the rear out on a gravel trail, so I'm sure it's a lot of fun for people to come out on the Royal Enfields and have fun. So how's that been going with Royal Enfield for you guys?
I love the Royal Enfield project with AFT. It's one of the best things we've done because here's a brand that a lot of people over here didn't even know existed. It has a rich history. Royal Enfield goes back 100 years, over 100 years, and it was a British motorcycle company that ended up becoming an Indian motorcycle company because there are far more Royal Enfields in India than there were in the UK. And at the end of the Second World War, when the Brits retreated back to Europe, and there were all these bikes in India. So the new Royal Enfield company is from nowhere near Enfield. It's in India. Yeah. And produce these bikes for the domestic market over there. It's the biggest motorcycle market in the world, India, by some distance. But here they are, fast forward, and they're in America. And it's a kind of cool looking bike, and it's a kind of cool looking brand, but people don't really know what it is. And you can spend millions and millions of dollars trying to tell people who you are, and it just gets lost in the US. If you are an import brand of small to medium size, you've got some challenges. I know this from the Triumph days. Even with Triumph, even when a name as famous as that, we had to do some very clever and creative things to get it back on the map. So when we started talking to Royal Enfield, and their head office is in India, they have a US office that's in Wisconsin, and they've got their R&D and design in the UK. So it really is a global company. And when we started talking to the guys in the UK, and ironically, the head guy there is an American from New Jersey. This is welcome to the 21st century. And when we started talking with Adrian Sellers, who's their guy over there, and Bree, who's their marketing lead over here, what they wanted to do was raise the visibility of the brand, but they wanted to add some flavor to it. It's not enough just to have a banner saying Royal Enfield. It doesn't mean anything. And so we were delighted when they said, look, we want to do projects that make people stop and think, that communicate that motorcycling should be for everybody, which it should. Bikes come in all shapes and sizes like people, and whether you're big or small, male or female, riding a motorcycle is the same thing. So the fact that was important to them really hooked me. And so we worked with them to devise a way into AFT, which coincided really well with us having this production twins class, if you like, our middle class, because their race bikes derived from a street bike, and it's a street bike that's designed to be cheap and accessible and reliable, not fast.
Yeah.
So that engine into something that can get on the track was a real feat, and the production twins class gave them an opportunity to do that without being fed to the lions in Super Twins. So we liked that, and we liked the way they'd approached it. The chassis was designed by a company called Harris Performance. I don't know if you guys know who Harris Performance are, but I grew up with them. They designed Grand Prix chassis back in the 70s and 80s, and they had a whole line of go faster goodies for your street bike that made it slightly less legal than the day you bought it. And so Harris, these cool kind of skunk works guys in the UK, and then there's the R&D Centre for Royal Enfield, and a bike that was designed a long time ago for another age. It's an awesome story. But then on top, doing this build, train, race thing, I think we loved that because it's not just window dressing or powder puff stuff. It's real. But they've got these female motorcyclists with varying degrees of background and experience who are involved in the build and the design of the bike. And then they go and train to learn how to flat track properly. And then they race in front of the crowd at AFT. We loved it. And we loved the ballsiness of it and the creativity. And it's exactly the kind of positive things we want to say about motorcycling. And being able to do it in the AFT series was awesome.
So it's a production twins class bike. So it's got a different frame, but similar engine to what was stock. What is a production twin? Because we have World Superbike, which is race on Sunday, sell on Monday. I'm assuming there's some sort of avenue there for Royal Enfield.
It's really simple. Mm-hmm. It's really simple. To qualify as a production engine sourced bike, you have to use the original crankcases for the street homologated engine. You'll change pretty much everything else within guidelines. So you can't, if you're going to put aftermarket throttle bodies on, for example, they have to conform to a specification.
Right.
And there is a cubic capacity limit. You can't bore and stroke it out to become some huge monster. So there are some guidelines, but we try not to burst the bubble of creativity. We want teams to be creative in shaving that 1/10 of a second off. So to qualify as a production source bike, it has to have the original crankcases. And that actually is quite a considerable restriction. It might not sound like one, but what I've learned in 6 years of doing this is that, and very different to road racing. In road racing, if you get the weight down, you get the suspension balanced, and you have ballistic power, you're going to win. And if you've got more power on the next guy, you're going to win. In flat track, it doesn't work like that. Even on the miles, the traction is the key, particularly traction on corner exit. So nailing the throttle on the way out is a good way of going backwards. Because you lose traction very quickly, and all the smart guys go whoom, whoom, whoom past you. So what you need is, firstly, quite a lazy power delivery. Not only a flat torque curve, but one where the relationship between throttle input and what's going on the back wheel is entirely understood and controlled by the rider. Because the rider's not controlling any other variable. The bike's going sideways, they got dust in their face, there's some annoying guy who's 2 inches there, there's another annoying guy 2 inches that way. That controlling what happens under your butt, what you can feel back, tells you how much throttle you're feeding in. And if I said to you that the least powerful bikes in our Super Twins class win all the races.
Weird.
The really powerful engines don't win any races.
That's crazy.
It's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But you need smooth delivery of power, and you need a high confidence level as the rider at when to feed it in, because you feed it in too late and 6 guys have gone past you. You feed it in too early, you start going sideways, 6 guys go past you. So that really is the key to pro flat track, is smooth power on and off, momentum into the corners. Bear in mind, they're coming off a start finish straight on a mile at well over 130 miles an hour. Jeez. And they're going into a corner with no front brake.
That's
and the rear brake's pretty useless. So effectively, no brakes.
Yeah.
Right. So smooth wins.
That's unbelievable. That. I mean, that. So the crazy thing, I watched a handful of races, in order to really try and understand it, because I haven't followed too much. But the thing that blew me away was how close these riders are. Like they're all up in each other's business all the time. Like GP, it's really bad form if you're really close to somebody. Yeah. But it's like that's just what you do in flat track. There's elbow bumping all the time.
Yeah, can you imagine if the commentary was like in GP, like, oh, they're swapping paint? It's like, that's what they always do in flat track. There's no paint to swap anyways, basically.
It's unbelievable how close these guys are.
The amazing thing is we have a recurring kind of incident in flat track. So if there's an incident and somebody goes down, it's not because they touched handlebars. It's probably because someone's handlebar connected with someone's foot. Think about that.
Yeah, because it's so dipped over, right? Yeah.
If you're coming behind them, you're not coming behind at the same angle. Watch it again. Watch a few of the races and the slow-mos of replaying incidents. I'll talk to somebody who's gone down in a semi, and I'll see them in the paddock afterwards, and I'll say, "Hey Jeffrey," or "Hey Jared, what happened?" He'll say, "Yeah, his handlebar hit my helmet."
That's insane.
So that's pretty unique in motorcycle sport.
Definitely. Well, we're really excited to be able to get out and see a race in person at some point. I think that'd be a lot of fun just to see it and see the atmosphere. And I think we had an open invite from you guys to maybe even ride one on the track or something like that, or maybe have some fun, I heard.
We periodically do media days where the objective of the day is to bring you guys down a peg. No, sorry, the objective of the day. The objective of the day is to open the world of flat track to you.
Right.
So we do these a couple of times a year, 3 times a year. We didn't do any last year for obvious reasons, but we're keen to do that again because I think you gain a new appreciation. If you go to a race and you see these guys flying past, I mean, to the point where your heart beats faster because you can get kind of close to the action in flat track, particularly if you're on the infield. If they're coming into turn one and you're on the infield, you can't believe the noise, the speed, and the scariness. But you can understand it a little better if you've done it on a little Yamaha 125 with someone shouting at you because you're too slow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as a guy, so for me, I do some club level road racing, and I've got a 675R that I compete in sprint racing with. I did some endurance racing last year, and for me, the flat track stuff is just, it's crazy. I've always wanted to try it, but from a road racing perspective where traction is everything and grip is everything, it's scary to imagine, like you said, flying into a corner with no brakes. Yeah, that's definitely a shit in your pants kind of moment.
So we will definitely extend an invite for you so you can come and humiliate yourself.
Absolutely.
All at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be great. Michael, one last question for you before we let you go. I know that you were a former Ducati guy, former Triumph guy. I actually own a Ducati and I own a Triumph. And I was curious, do you currently own any bikes in your stable? What have you ridden in the past? What do you got on two wheels right now?
Yeah, I have. You know how I've become an American?
You have a Harley?
I own 7 motorcycles. No one in my family in Europe will ever speak to me again. They'll say, "Oh, you become such an American." So, yeah, I have 3 Ducatis. I've got an 888 SP, which was the first Ducati I fell in love with. It was the last of the kind of real men Ducatis. I have a 1098S, which was a bike that when I was at Ducati we built for the Rob Report. It's a Martini Ducati, cover story of the Rob Report. One of the most beautiful bikes I've ever seen. And when I left the company, it managed to walk out with me. And I have a Monster 1100S, which is just an awesome everyday bike. So that's my Ducati collection. I have a Laverda Hota. I don't know if you guys know what that is. That is a 1978 Laverda, which is an Italian brand, 3-cylinder across the frame. So it's a triple. Sounds awesome. Sandcast crankcases. And in 1978, it was the fastest production motorcycle in the world. I have one of those because when I was a teenage kid, my next door neighbor, who was a professor at Cambridge University, had one. And him starting it up and doing his routine in the morning was my wake-up call. So I've got a Laverda, which I managed to find. And I have 3 Hondas. I have a VF 1000R, don't know if you know what that is, but it's one of the most beautiful motorcycles Honda made. V4, sport bike, 1985. It was the first one with the gear-driven cams. It was the year before the Interceptor.
Nice.
Lovely bike. I mean, it's a bit of a battle axe. It weighs about 575 pounds. And as long as you're going in a straight line, it's really comfortable. But I love that bike. I have a Honda RC30.
Ooh, man.
It's the greatest Honda ever built.
Literally, yeah.
And I just bought last week an NSR 250R.
You did? Oh, man, that's a nice one, too. Yeah.
Full Rothman's color scheme.
That's, you have to. With an NSR, you got to get it with that one. That's great.
I've been looking for one for ages, and one popped up with a US title. So that's mine.
There's a company out in California called Iconic Motorbikes that's always doing NRs and rare Hondas and RC30s and stuff, and I just drool over their Instagram page all the time with all the rare Hondas they've got. Yeah,
I can't believe what's happening to all the values of those bikes.
I know.
Went to the Mecum Vegas auction last year. In fact, almost exactly a year ago, and there was an NR 750. I mean, it was nice.
Yeah.
Not that I want to ride it, but there was this NR 750 that went for $200,000.
Yep.
But that wasn't the scariest thing. The scariest thing was there was an RC30, not much better than mine, that went for 175.
Yeah, I don't think anyone back when the RC30 was made thought that it was going to be worth that much money in the future.
No. I love that bike.
Yeah.
If I had to have only one motorcycle in the world, it would be the RC30.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, cool, Michael. Thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it. Spike, do you have any closing remarks for Michael here?
No, this just, I remember I saw an event that kind of got me down this rabbit hole a little while, about 2 years ago when there was a event with bikes that look just like it out front of Hand Built here in Austin. And I remember hearing those bikes and I was like, I reckon that's an XG 750 engine. I had that bike and it got me just really excited about it, and I would love the opportunity to come check out in one of these events because, you know, MotoGP is this huge production, and I think, you know, flat track having a little bit more of that homely quality is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, no, for sure. Well, you guys are in Texas, right?
Yeah.
So come to Texas Motor Speedway at Dallas, first weekend of May. It's not just us that are there. It's a whole motorcycle festival in town that's being sponsored by Komoto, who have, you know, lots of different retailers and supply companies. It's going to be a huge, big deal, culminating in the AFT race at the half mile at Texas Motor Speedway. Come to that. It's just a ride north, just a little ride north from you guys. Snow will have gone by then too.
Yeah. And if we do have snow that time of year, then truly we're on the end times. That's for sure.
Yeah. Come, because you will see AFT at its best with a big crowd, very diverse crowd. You know, we have the Harley guys who come to flat track, and they've been doing it a long, long time. Great big groups of your stereotypical Harley guys who love the sport. We have the sport bike guys, we have dirt bike guys, we have vintage bike guys. It's cool, but you will see it all Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, maybe we got to go then.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah. On that note, thanks so much, Michael. We'll talk to you soon.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you guys.
All right, see ya. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that conversation with Michael Locke, and now we're going to do the traditional call-in portion of our podcast. If you want the opportunity to call us in, join on yammie.co. You'll get access to the phone number that you can use to join us live here as we do these podcasts, and you can call us in and ask us questions, and we'll hang out with you and chat. So without further ado, Spite, put the number up on Discord, and we will get started.
Alrighty, guys, call-in number is live. Got to put our cool guy headphones on.
Mine's totally working just fine and not broken.
Modified inside of 10 seconds.
Yeah. Hey there, Jimmy. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Yammie, hi, what's happening?
Not much, man. Sitting here doing the podcast. What can we do for you today?
You guys all warmed up from your freak snow weather?
Yes, we are. We're finally thawed out, back to riding, back to normal life here in sunny, warm Texas.
I see. Hey, I was going to mention, I called before. I was the one that put 140,000 miles on R6.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I remember you.
Yeah. And then I was watching the thing on YouTube. You guys, I wonder how many tires he went through. I have a number for you. 140,000 miles. I went through 26 rears and 19 fronts. But out of those 26 rears, I probably lost 5 to nails.
Ooh, that's
Dang.
a really bad spread on the nail ratio there.
I've been really bad on nails lately. The last 3 tires I've got on my Beamer, I've got like 1,000 miles in it, and I pick up a nail.
Yeah. Man, 26 rear tires. That's, I like to think about my race bike that I pretty much go through tires almost every other month basically on that bike, but with that much mileage on yours, yeah. What tires do you normally put on your R6? Do you do more sport touring, or are you doing like, you know, proper sport bike tires?
I do all like, I was running Q2s and then switched to Q3s.
Nice.
I did the Bridgestone 16s, but I usually rode Q3 pluses.
Nice. The man's likes grip.
Mm-hmm.
Likes the grip and the twisties.
Yeah.
At that point, you should just start putting like hash marks on the tail for every tire you burn up.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
Yeah, you're in Southern California, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's great riding out there, man. Yeah, again, as soon as COVID stuff clears up, we'd love to come out to California and do some riding, because I know there's lots of cool stuff to go check out over there.
Yeah, there are some excellent twisties. So, yeah. All right. Well, you guys have a good day.
All right, Jimmy, thanks for calling. I appreciate it, man.
All right, late.
26 tires. 26 rear tires, 19 front. I would have thought that ratio would have been... I always go through 2 rears for every 1 front.
Yeah, that's... Maybe he's just running like a low pressure on the front for some reason.
Maybe. I almost always
But then
go through
again,
2
he
rears
did
in one
he did
front.
140,000 miles
On his R6, yeah. That is so much mileage.
He's getting a lot of miles out of those tires.
Yeah. Run the math for me really quick. You want to do 140,000 divided by 26?
Yeah, let's see what that number is. 40,000 divided by 26. 5,000 miles a tire.
Oh, that's pretty average, actually. Hey there, PJ. You are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, Spite and Yam. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. We were just doing some math, trying to figure out the last caller's situation, but what can we do for you?
Yeah, I finished math. Math is hard. We don't do that anymore. No, I'm in this great debate. I've rented a speed triple, and it's a little too aggressive, and so I'm leaning more towards a street twin, but that seems like completely opposite of a speed triple.
So you're between these two bikes is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. What was it about the speed triple that you felt was too aggressive, or you just didn't vibe? Was it the ergonomics or the engine or both?
Yeah,
or?
the ergonomics more than anything. The engine has a great note, beautiful power. The torque curve was great. The throttle feel was great, but just a little leaned over, a little aggressive. I'm an old man that doesn't want to hurt my back any further than it already is, and would rather just cruise around.
Yeah.
I mean, those Bonnies are really great bikes.
The 1200s have lots of torque.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Okay. So like a T120 instead of the little one?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if you like that torque-rich kind of character that the Speed Triple has, the 1200 Bonnies are great. I'm really partial to the big scramblers they sell. If you like Triumphs and you want something comfortable and upright, they got the Triumph Scrambler XE and XC. One is like super off-road focused. One's a little more road focused. And that's a great bike, man. Makes a great sound, great torque, super premium, really pretty. Kind of like a nicer version of my bike, the Desert Sled. You definitely check that one out. Yeah. What do you think, Spite?
Yeah, cool.
I mean, my favorite Bonneville is the Thruxton.
That's nice. Yeah.
I love looking at the Thruxton, especially the one that has the chrome tank. But
that's more like the Cafe, right?
Yeah, it's super
over.
Cafe racer. So if you're not feeling the lean, I understand that, but that's based on the T120 engine. They all kind of use the same engine.
Yeah, that big 1200 twin, right?
And they sound really good. They sound really good.
Well, now I got to go rent one of those, I guess.
Yeah, go give it a shot. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, unless you want to give me a scrambler, that'd be great.
Hey, you might win. Who knows? It could be you. That'd be really small world, but it could be you.
Well, thanks for the advice, guys. Appreciate the help.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey there, Gads McGee. What can we do for you today? How's it going?
Pretty good. I'm actually the one that called in a couple weeks ago. I made that trip down to Texas.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It was a really good trip. I was going to say that if you guys ever get the chance, there's a road I would love to take on the bike. It's Hell's Canyon in Oregon, and there are some really nice windy turns. Like you flick out of one corner and right into the other one.
Yeah, I've actually looked that road up before. Spite, have you seen this road before?
No, I haven't.
Look it up on Google really quick. It is so crazy.
Hell's Canyon?
Hell's Canyon it's in Oregon, right?
Yeah, I drove it in the car on the way down this weekend, and that's all I was thinking about is, man, I want to go camping here.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool spot.
Wow, I can see it already. Just these.
Yeah, go to images and check it out over here. We're taking a look.
Yeah, no, it's like a cliffside on one side with the river, and yeah, no, it was really cool. It's definitely one that you want to take slow the first couple times.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of some of the riding we did out in Big Bend last year.
That, yeah.
Some of the riding we did out there was amazing.
Mm-hmm. I still remember the road between Terralingua and Presidio because we rode it so many times, and you go up that hill where we saw those pigs, and you had that massive vista that looked out west. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. So many of the javelinas, though. I forgot about those. There was like a squadron of like 20 of them on the side of the road. We're like, watch out, pigs, hogs, holy shit.
Yeah. I think, mercifully, they're not that far north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good drive. It was nice on Monday. It was the day that I was in Austin. It was 70 or something like that. I didn't get to see any snow down there. Ran into two closed roads on the way, but other than that, it was 2,400 miles in 3 days.
Damn.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. But yeah, that was about it.
What bike did you do that on again? I can't remember.
I wasn't on a bike. It was a 2008 Mitsubishi Galant. I was driving it down for sister-in-law.
Yeah.
I'm the one. I also called in because I was saying I need to do the clutch on my 2002 R6.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's stupid easy. You saw it done in the paddock and whatnot. So.
Yeah, I remember telling you that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Glad to hear that the road trip went well and everything was going good. We'll definitely check out that Hell's Canyon road if we ever get a chance. That would be awesome. There's so much good riding in the U.S. that I want to go do. It's just a bummer that
for sure
times are the way they are,
Well, hey, I'll open up the line to somebody else, and you guys have a great day.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Hey there, Cody. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What can we do for you?
I'm just calling. I called like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe. But first of all, I hope all's well with the weather and the whole situation down there. It looked like it was a pretty shitty deal for everyone.
Yeah, but it was not great.
I called a few weeks ago asking about a helmet, specifically the RF 1200 Shoei and the 1400. So I just wanted to say I ended up going with the RF 1200 and freaking love it. Such a difference.
It's hard not to love it. What did you have before the RF 1200?
What do I have? It's like a Scorpion something 420. It's like $165 helmet.
It's well worth the upgrade, isn't it?
Oh man, so nice. And then tomorrow I should be getting my my mirrored tinted visor in the mail.
You gotta get the mirrored visor.
One, yeah.
It's so sick.
Gotta get the mirrored one. I got an orange one to match my KTM. So
hell yeah. I'm disappointed because my street helmet's an Arai XD4 and they actually don't make any mirrored options for that helmet, which is a bummer. So I just have like the dark smoke tint one. But I love on my Arai, I've got like the iridescent green mirrored lens on it. It's so cool.
I thought about getting that, but I ride with sunglasses. So
yeah, that's true.
I was like, it looks cool, and then I get caught out at night, and then I'm like, oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I rock a tail bag, so I keep my with my other helmet, I kept my my clear visor in my tail bag, so I could swap them if I needed to.
Yeah.
But
tail bags are the way, man.
Oh yeah, definitely a necessity. I commute on my bike a lot too, so it's basically a requirement.
Yeah. What KTM do you have?
I have a Duke 390.
Oh, sweet. So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
good bike.
I love that little bastard. I'm waiting to get a second bike because I'm in the military and I'm moving soon, but I don't know where or when exactly. Sometime within the next 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So that's kind of gonna, I'm waiting on that till I make a decision about getting a second bike. Depends on where I go.
Yeah, the Duke's one of those bikes that I just hold on to. You can do so much with that little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't ever want to get rid of it. I love that little thing. So.
Yeah.
Another thing too that I thought you guys would find funny. I was talking to my dad this weekend, and he's like in his mid-60s, and he's been riding motorcycles since he was like 8 years old, dirt bikes, and he's more of a cruiser guy though. He has a big Indian and Hondas and Kawasaki's before that, but he told me about this bike that a guy he knows is selling. It's a 2007 Hayabusa, all original, with like 6,000 miles on it. All original.
Wow. All original. Holy crap. You don't see that often.
And I was like, yeah, you need to buy it. Just buy it, man. And he never rides sport bikes, but, he's kind of a crazy old man. So I hope he does buy it because I want to ride it when I go home and visit. And it'd be funny to see him on it.
Well, if there's a weird overlap between big cruiser guys and Busa guys. So I don't know, man. He might just get it.
That's what I told him. I mean, I've never rode one, but from everything I've seen in your videos and other videos, it's a big ass sport bike. It's not like being on a little lightweight thing. I told him he'd probably like it.
Yeah,
and
it's a big, substantial
sounds like it's pretty
bike.
Comfortable, other than, if you're trying to cut corners with it and go around corners, it's probably going to be that great. But
yeah,
he lives in North Dakota. It's all just straight, long highways. Would be perfect.
That's Busa country right there.
That's literally perfect for the Busa.
Yeah, you can literally just open it wide open out there.
Such a great legendary motorcycle. The Busa's great. It's a good bike.
I know for a fact at some point I will own a Hayabusa. I just know it's coming. It's coming at some point.
You like it a lot. Yeah.
I love the sound and the experience of riding that '07 Busa we got. It's such a great bike.
Yeah. I know. You know when I know you're gonna get yours is when ours is turboed, and then you're like, it's not the same anymore. I gotta get the original. The purity of the original one, because you won't like the turboed one.
Somebody posted one in Discord that was like you're saying, that was so clean and perfect, like even down to the stock pipes.
Wow.
The twin stock
babied.
Yeah.
Loved. Went to a good home, 2-parent household.
Yeah, that's like the one my dad described. If it's actually like that, I told him to scoop it up because it's really hard to find one that's original.
Yeah,
they're just all molested.
Flip on exhaust or exhaust, that's not that big of a deal, but usually they're just messed with, and everyone knows. You guys have covered that quite a bit.
Yeah. Fucking Busa subculture. Yeah, well, hopefully your dad picks it up, and then you can take it out for a rip, because it's a ton of fun to ride.
Yeah, definitely. Well, all right, well, I just wanted to call and say hi, but you guys take care and have a good one.
All right, man. Catch you later. Bye. I'm still kind of in shock and awe that, like, there is a definite point in time where I will have a Turbo Hayabusa.
Mm-hmm. It's coming.
It's coming, and I will own one, and I'll get to experience it and ride it. And
the inexorable march of time towards the Turbo Busa.
Hey there, Jason. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hi, Yam. First time finally calling in.
Oh, cool.
First thing I want to say is thank you. I found your channel about 2 years ago, and it was one of the things that got me motivated into riding.
Yes, and love to hear it.
It's fought off my depression until I got ran over. Anyway, I got 2 questions. One, I'm trying to fix my 04 Daytona, and it's the stator problem, and I thought it was the connectors. I took it out. The battery died, but the bike started stuttering when the battery died. Is that normal, or?
Oof, this might be out of my wheelhouse. So you said that you had the battery connected, and you tried to turn it on, and it started sputtering and stuttering?
No. I took it. I cleaned the connectors. I'm trying to see if it's the stator before I pull the bike apart.
Yeah.
And I cleaned the connectors. I charged the battery. The next day I was feeling positive because the bike started right up.
Yeah.
I took it out for a ride, and about halfway through the ride, the electronics on the bike died, and then the bike died about a mile after that. But the bike was stuttering, like it was choking, like somebody stuffed something down the exhaust.
This might sound like a weird question, but did you screw down the battery terminals all the way on the battery?
Yes, because I cleaned them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I had a similar issue where I didn't just fully screw in my battery, and it was doing that with me. Yeah, that's a weird issue. I'm not super familiar with the earlier Daytonas, but I'm not really sure. Spike, do you have any inklings?
I mean, yeah, my initial thought is it's a reg rec issue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
It's motorcycle regulator rectifiers are small and shitty. They kind of work just barely. If you have a bad battery and your bike is trying to charge it, you can blow up your reg rec on your bike. I've seen it happen on a couple of different motorcycles where a bad battery causes good electronics to go bad because they're just not as substantial as what's in a car. So my guess would be to check regulator rectifier, make sure that system's all working, and then, get monkeying with some of the more in-depth electronics. However, it's not that hard to fix that stuff. As long as you can get new ones on these modern motorcycles, it's just plug and play. You just undo the connector and you plug the new one in. It's a pain in the butt to get to on a fully faired bike, but it's not undoable,
Well, thanks for that. That was the quick question. I've got the note down. The next question is a bit of a challenge. I'm going to get a second bike, one for more casual. I'm not going to ride the Daytona everywhere as my daily rider. Mm-hmm. And my girlfriend is now interested in riding because she sees how much I enjoy it. So the question is what bike would I get that I can ride that I would feel comfortable teaching her on?
This is an interesting one. Well, let me ask you this. Give me some specs on your girlfriend. Is she tall? Is she short? Does she have any riding experience?
She has absolutely zero riding experience. She's about 5'8", 5'9".
Okay.
We've put her on a couple of bikes. She can flat foot like a CB 650 and an SV 650 just fine. She likes the Bonneville and Thruxton, but she also likes the triple 675.
Okay.
She likes the CB. She does not like the Rebel. I went that route already.
So this is a bike you want to get that you would have some fun riding as well, and you can teach her with, right?
I would be comfortable putting a brand new rider on.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to put her on my Daytona.
No, that's not a good idea. I think that if she likes the Bonnevilles, honestly, like a new Bonneville with the 900cc engine is great. They're really smooth. They're really easy to ride. We've got one in the shop right now, the Street Scrambler. That's a great platform. I'd feel comfortable chucking a beginner on there. That'd be my choice if she likes those bikes already. The only problem is they're a little pricey at the dealership floor. So maybe a used one. That might be my bet there. Spite, what do you think?
I was thinking you could go, kind of the light scrambler route, something like the Svartpillen 401.
Yeah.
That's a bike that, even as someone who's ridden a lot of motorcycles, I still would have an ear-to-ear smile just goofing around with that little bike.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a surprising amount of technology in it, too, especially with the new model years apparently having the quick shifter up and down, if that guy's to be believed in the chat, which is bananas on a bike that's
$5,000.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll look into those. Thank you very much. You guys keep up the good work, and I'll see you next week on the chat.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Best of luck on that new bike. I hadn't thought of this Svartpillen 401.
Yeah. It's that we spent, 4 months saying it's the greatest beginner bike of all time.
Yeah, I still think it is. I've yet to find a bike that I feel is better than the Svartpillen for beginners. The only thing that sucks about it is the seat height is a little tall.
It is a little tall.
But other than that, it's awesome. It's like such an awesome bike.
Mm-hmm. You can have so much fun with that thing.
It's $5,000.
It's $5,000.
Hey there, John. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Pretty good. How's it doing? How
Good.
You doing?
We're nice and warm here in Texas. What can we do for you?
Nothing much. Just chilling. Decided to call in. Pretty bored. I was gonna ask, what do you guys think on the F07?
What do we think about it?
Yeah.
Great bike. I pretty much sing its praises any chance I get. I think it's definitely one of the best 650-ish cc naked bikes. Makes a great sound. Feels nice. Fun to ride. Clutches up wheelies real easily. Spite, you like the F07, right?
Yeah, dirt cheap, ton of fun.
Yeah, good bike. Nothing bad to say about it, really.
I just got my son his license. He took the Harley Davidson course, so.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did.
Bike from.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took the riding academy course, so they put you on the 500s.
Yeah, the basic rider's course, the 500. Yeah.
Yep, I did that.
Right now, I got myself a R6, so I'm more or less into the sporty type vibe. Mm-hmm. I'm only 33.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. 33 and your son is doing the Riders Academy.
So. Yeah.
Okay, I was just trying to make the math work. In my head, I was like, you had him when you were 3, but I was like, that doesn't sound right.
All right, well, I'll let you guys get in on another call, okay?
All right, John. Thanks so much, man.
All right, great talking to you. Bye.
See ya. Bye. Alrighty, guys, we're going to wrap up the call-in section here. Feeling the lull kind of settling in here for the calls. So that was a lot of fun. We're now going to jump into the contest portion of the podcast. We got a fun one today that actually has some real-world implications that we are going to get into, so stick around.
And if you're not, you got to watch it on YouTube.
Yes, and if you are listening to this portion on the audio only, you're going to have to go to YouTube to see the full audio-visual experience of our contest. Contest. There we go. We'll see you there. Alrighty, everyone. This is now the contest portion of the podcast. Normally we do meme contests, just fun kind of giveaway kind of stuff. But this week we are selecting a rival motorcycle to our Gixxer 250. So one of the bikes that we're looking at today, hopefully we are going to go and pick up and set up as a rival to the Gixxer 250, because we're like, look, it's fun to torture the Gixxer, make fun of the Gixxer, but it's like an old dumb dog. It needs a companion.
Yeah, you got to get it a friend.
It needs a friend. So today we've asked our Discord boys to scour Craigslist, local here, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and whatever else they could find, and find us some crappy bikes in a budget that we could afford, and get a good one.
Yeah. Our goal is to be about $1,500.
Yeah.
So if you're in the $1,500 ballpark, you're gonna get that nice low score.
Yeah.
And if you're outside of that, well, we'll just give it the 10 for right at 15, just to make shit easier, so I don't have to fuck with the adjustment. But anyway, you get right in that price range, you get a good score. The farther you get away, the worse it is.
Yep.
Crustiness. If you got us a real crusty little bike, that ain't gonna do very good.
Because remember, the Gixxer was bought brand spanking new. We have made it crusty. It was actually a nice little bike when I got it.
It's not that crusty. It's just dirty.
It's getting a little crusty. It's getting there.
And then lastly, we have Gixxerness. We don't want to be comparing
apples and oranges, right?
Yeah, we want something, or we want a little variety in our life, right?
Okay.
We want to go from, we got our little sport bike that's not really a sport bike, but what if we got some crazy cruiser, or perhaps one of the big Goldwing things that we might see?
So you think it's good if it's very different than the Gixxer?
Yeah, a little bit of variety.
Okay.
So the less...
Why do I feel like we're going to end up with that one thing we saw earlier? We're not buying that spike. Because there's nowhere to put it. We're going to park it out front, I guess.
Just put it under the cover.
Leave it under the tree. Anyways.
All right,
let's
begin. Diving right in with Cali Shit Bikes entry, we have this little Piaggio BV, which is going for $3,000.
Whoa,
it's a little high.
2x what we're asking for, but that is a good-looking scoot, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. A lot of 12,000 miles on the scoot. Damn, this guy's scooting everywhere.
Piaggio BV, it looks like straight up like a little 50cc, slush box scoot, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's in pretty remarkably good shape. Dang.
Look at this. Gets up to 80 miles per hour with huge storage space. This could be competitive against the Gixxer. And has better storage.
Apparently it's a 350. How the fuck does a 350 get to 80 miles an hour? Well, the 250 does it.
It says very, very good condition by 350.
Dang.
Oh, BV 350. Got it. So is it a...
It must be just a little 350cc scoot.
Yeah. Okay.
Dang.
This might be the right bike right off the gate.
This thing is just really clean too.
Yeah. It is clean.
So let's rate it up against. We have price. It is double our price.
That's not good.
If 1,500 would get us a 10, then this would theoretically be a 5.
So we're not doing golf scores?
I think because then I'd have to fuck with the adjustment. So let's just do it normal style.
Normal score. Okay.
Yeah. So
I think because it's double what we've asked, let's rate it like a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very expensive.
Yeah.
We're trying to spend $1,500. This is twice as much.
Even if we could realistically get it for 28 or something like that. So that price, we're going to give it a 4. And crustiness. This thing's just clean.
It's clean as can be. I'm going to give it a 10. Because it's basically a perfect, beautiful scoot.
Especially for one that's got 12,000 miles on it.
Yeah. Also, we cannot underestimate the amount of scooter content we could make.
Mm-hmm.
Scoot content could be good,
We could turn this thing into a little ADV scoot. So, next we have our Gixxerness. How similar to the Gixxer is it?
This is pretty different than the Gixxer. It's a step-through scoot. It's looking pretty spicy.
I think maybe it is still just a 350.
That's true, yeah.
So I think maybe like a 7?
How about a 7? Yeah, I think a 7. Honestly, that's kind of a strong score for that scoot.
That's a 21 right out of the gate
with
for the
zero
scoot.
Adjustments as well.
Yeah, because this one's close by.
That's local.
Yep.
That's Austin.
We just go get it tonight. So next up we have Clive's Knives with
Oh no.
2 Cushman Allstate scooters.
No. Why do we need? We only need one bike. Why you give us? No.
So
I'm disqualifying this one.
I want $1,500 for each scoot.
Oh my god.
Why are these Cushmans like? Why do people think they're valuable?
Because he says these are rare bikes by Cushman, be sold under the Sears name. Oh, do these things even run? What year are these things, dude?
Apparently the
1960?
odometer is that 10
a million
or 100 billion?
100 billion. It looks like it's been through 100 billion. Honestly, I think this one's just too old. It's not going to be competitive against the Gixxer. It's not going to be even close enough to. This would probably need work to run. It's got a pedal that I don't know what it does.
That's a pedal right there.
I want to disqualify this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking that this one isn't in contention.
It's not going to work.
So we're going to zero this one out.
Zero that one out, Clive's Knives. We're sorry, but we vetoed it.
Yeah, that one isn't going to get anywhere. So next up we have Romo 2 or Romo period with some photos of a ad that got taken down, unfortunately.
So it may not be up still. May have been sold. So it's a 2000 Ducati Monster 750 for $2,250. Wow, okay.
45K miles. New tires, runs good.
Let me ask you this. Do you trust a 21-year-old Ducati with 45,000 miles on it?
No.
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 I feel like we'd bring it back and it would just sit in the shop while we're like, what's wrong with it?
And then you take it to the guy over at Ducati Austin. He's like, I can't fix this.
Yeah.
When do you honestly suspect the last Desmo service was done on this bike?
If it was actually taken care of, it's probably due for one soon, which sucks.
Because there's 6,500 mile interval, 7?
The first one's at 75, and then after that, it's every 15,000 miles.
Yeah, so it's basically about
it would basically about to be another Desmo on it.
Which that's brutal.
Which would basically be about as much as they're asking for it.
That sucks. But this one's probably carbureted too, because it's 2000.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
Could you
What's
imagine
cool is this engine's basically the same architecture as the one I've got in my bike. It's just the older model of it, the older version.
So what you're saying is we can just take the engine out of the sled and throw it in there?
Yeah, we can just engine swap.
So, price.
Price is pretty good. You know, it's within the ballpark. I would give it like a 7 for price. We're about $750 off.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close.
Yeah.
So we'll give that a 7. And crustiness, not very crusty.
Not that crusty. It's not a perfect 10 like our beautiful Scoot.
No.
But it's still an old Ducati, and I guarantee. I mean, these photos aren't very clear, and there's only 3 of them, so we can't really see.
Yeah.
I want to give it like a 7.
I think a 7 as well. And Gixxerness. I mean, it's a Ducati. So how do we want to rate this? Can it be compared to the Gixxer at all?
I don't think so. I want to give it like a 5.
Yeah, I think a 5 is fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh shit! It didn't beat the Scoot.
Didn't beat the Scoot.
The Scoot might win.
Somebody did submit. There were a whole bunch of people who submitted for this. A ton of people submitted.
Yeah.
And of course, there was a mobility scooter in there.
Of course.
It's like for $450. I might see if the link is still active.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Wildy, who is Spooky Zuki on the server, who hasn't posted in a while. This 2006
baby.
Honda Rebel.
Now we're talking.
This is before the refresh, so I think it's still carbureted, and it looks like
this is
that.
the type. This is wow, wow, wow. That really threw me off guard. I didn't expect that.
Just wait, man. It was their Christmas tree.
Oh man. Yikes. That's bonkers. This is the type of bike where even if it needed like carb work, I wouldn't do it.
No.
If it ran like ass, I'd be like, it just runs like ass.
Yep.
I wouldn't fix it.
You just leave it and let it run.
Yep.
Just change the oil.
Fucking hell, that's a crusty little piece of shit, isn't it?
Why
Look
would
at the
you?
chain. Look at the chain.
Yeah, that's not good right there.
No, that's been left outside. It's rusted.
Look at the seat though. It's not even like
It's supposed to be like a bobber style.
Yeah, but they didn't put the. It does have a rear suspension, but they didn't put the little springers on there.
Oh my god.
That's going to be an unpleasant little ride.
It's gonna hurt.
This might be a motorcycle that the Gixxer can beat, though.
Maybe.
I think the Gixxer can take this thing, man.
Probably.
Yeah.
This might be lighter than the Gixxer, though.
Yeah, it is pretty chopped up. So now here's the question. At $2,500, how does that compare price-wise? That is pretty high.
It's pretty high.
It's grand more than we're looking for.
Yeah, I think that's like an... Because we rated the 4 for 3,000.
Yep.
So let's give this a 5.
A 5.
Yeah, we're about $1,000 off where we want to be.
So, crustiness. This one's pretty damn crusty.
Bro, this is one of the crustiest things I've seen in a minute. I got to give this like a 3, I think.
Yeah. That
It
seems
runs,
fair.
supposedly, but
It looks
by
like
the
that.
grace of some god we don't know, it runs.
And it was apparently an ape hanger Christmas tree. Could you imagine riding around on a Rebel 250 with ape hangers up to here?
No, I cannot.
Why would you do that to yourself? So, a 3 for crustiness
3 for crustiness, yeah.
and Gixxerness.
It's pretty powerful for in terms of the companionship it could provide for the Gixxer in terms of its variety. But it is another 250, so I'm going to give it like a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
No
That fucking
adjustment.
Scoot is still in first place.
The
All
Scoot
right.
is still in first place.
Honestly, Spite, it might be the Scoot. But let's keep going.
I cannot read who that name is, but the next one,
Drifting Fish or something?
Drift Fish, yeah, gives us this VMAX.
Whoa!
A 93 VMAX,
93
baby.
OG Widowmaker.
Yup.
Holy crap.
This thing is...
Is this the one where they're like, it makes 280 horsepower? The VMAX's power grows every time you ask somebody about it.
I like the flame
Yeah, you
radiator
do.
guard
I
right
like
there.
the wheels, dude. Check the blade wheels that sucker has.
Those look like the solid wheels that came on the first V-Rod.
Yeah. God, the VMAX is such a stupid bike.
It really is. This thing is just a death trap.
Yeah.
It is a death trap.
Single-sided brake, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Just...
Oh, my God. That's a... Yeah. Yeah, you just die riding that.
But hey, the new ones, when you die on it, it says, this is VMAX. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't realize it had the
Yeah.
little, like, tank dash.
Dude, this is a 93, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's the
almost
same
as old as
vintage
I
as
am.
me.
Yeah, it's when you were born.
So we have here for $3,085. Just weird. I'm not sure how he came to that number.
Maybe you just got it based on Blue Book or something.
Yeah, so he is claiming 140 horsepower.
That's way too much for that bike. Way too much.
140 horsepower with 84 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh my God.
But, bro, please don't take it out to the 100th place on the
Yeah,
foot-pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Round up.
Unnecessary.
It's carbureted.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
That...
Oh, carbureted V4. Oh my God. I want to disqualify it just for that. Because if it doesn't run right, I'm just going to throw it in the dump. Just be like, not fixing that.
So, rating it in terms of price.
It's double what we're asking for, so I think we gotta give it like a 3 or something.
Yeah, 4 is our double price right
Okay,
there.
it's a little over, so I think like a 3.5.
3.5. Crustiness, not very crusty.
No, it's honestly one of the cleanest 93s I've seen. That's kind of crazy. It looks like off the showroom floor, basically.
Yeah.
I want to give it like a 9. It's nice.
A 9,
Nice
yeah.
bike.
And Gixxerness. This is a poor companion for the Gixxer.
Yeah, Gixxer won't have nothing for the VMAX. But perhaps their differences add up to a sum greater than the whole of their parts, you know?
It's like David and Goliath palling around.
Yeah, exactly. Gixxerness for this. What do you think?
I
feel
like a 6-ish, kind of.
Yeah, 6 or 7, I think.
Because
I could 6.5.
I could totally see us making a comparison between the Gixxer 250 and a 1993 VMAX.
The Yammie Noob stable would be absolutely bonkers with a Turbo Busa, a Gixxer 250, a VMAX. I think Shade Tree would call me and be like, "You're stepping on my turf." I got the weird bike garage.
Wait, just wait. We got you coming. So a 6.5 for the Gixxeriness. That's still a 19.
We haven't beat the Scoot.
The Scoot.
The Scoot is nice, though.
It is a nice Scoot. Now the Chazin has another Scoot for us.
Oh, baby, a 2003 Bergman 400. Ultimate nerd Scoot. Look at that thing.
This is the Scoot that Wilford Brimley took through River Road.
Yeah, it is. Oh, man, that video was great. So to give you guys context, a few months ago, almost a year ago now, we were checking out stuff in Big Bend to see what rides we could do, and there's a road we wanted to take called River Road, but it's like unpaved and gravel and stuff, and I was trying to find out how gnarly it would be, and I came across this video of this old, overweight man on a Bergman, a Suzuki Bergman, and he did the whole road, and I was like, all right, Spite, if Wilford Brimley and his Bergman did it, we can certainly do it on our bikes.
Yep. And this is the proud little Scoot that did it.
Absolutely. The mile munching, trail crushing Bergman 400.
Look at that boogie board of a windshield.
It's so dorky. Holy shit, dude. It doesn't get more dorky than that. The controls look like a ride at Disney World or something. You know,
it really
looks
does.
like a little toy. It's crazy.
The nerd energy is high.
So strong, dude. Holy shit. Genuinely a bike I'd be embarrassed to be seen on.
It's $2,000, man.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
All right, let's rate it.
So, our price.
It's a good price. $2,000. It's only $500 more than what we're looking for. How about I
feel like the 7 is.
I think
is
a
right
7.
there.
Yeah.
Crustiness. This one's a little bit crustier.
Little crustier than the old Suzuki, the other Scoot we saw. So how about but it's still running. It's still fun. How about like an 8?
An 8. Gixxerness.
We gave the other Scoot a 7. Mm-hmm. So we got to give this one a 7.
This
right?
one is a bigger Scoot.
It is a bigger Scoot. It's more powerful. It's got a 400.
Yep.
This one actually could give the Gixxer a run for its money.
Are we going to go with the 7 or are we going to go with a 7.5?
It's the pain of knowing how to do quick math is I know that if I give that a 7, we beat the other scooter, and then that's in the lead. But it is, we rated the other one a 7 for the Scoot. This one has to be at least a 6, I think, or a 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah. And
I think because it's a bigger displacement, it has to be a 6 over the other one.
I think so too.
Which ties it with the other Scoot.
Which we got a scooter showdown here, baby.
There's some other bikes down this list that I think will beat both of these Scoots, so
yeah.
I'm not that worried.
So next up we have Vanilla Schlong with this Rebel from 2000.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look at that crusty nugget.
It looks like it's just been forgotten and tossed away in a corner.
I like the duct tape holding the...
That's not even duct tape. That's like Scotch tape or
some
just
painter's tape.
Painter's tape.
Ooh, baby, right there. No grip on the left-hand bar.
Oh, boy.
That's a rough one.
He says, it needs a little work to get moving. Tires, battery, and key replaced, I think. Bring a trailer or truck, and maybe we can make a deal. Yikes.
This feels like a hard pass.
This feels like a veto. It feels like it doesn't run or ride, which I don't think we made as a stipulation. Not sure on transmission either. Not sure on mileage. Man.
This one's rough.
This is too rough, dude. I think this is too rough to actually consider.
Yeah, that's a hard pass right there.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to veto this one. It's too shitty, honestly.
So moving on then, we have Hacksaw with a Suzuki Savage LS650.
Hey, all right.
This is the DR650 engine, which is a lump of shit.
I've seen a couple of these in person, and they are honestly unbelievable how bad they are.
Mm-hmm. They are atrocious motorcycles.
Again, a worthy competitor to the Gixxer 250.
This is another one that the Gixxer could probably contend with.
Yeah.
Because this is a slow bike.
but what is the meme potential of this bike? You know, is it funny? Or is it just sad?
It really does just feel like a sad little
It's just
cruiser.
a sad bike. The Scoot has potential because it's hilarious, but this is just sad.
I mean, it's really clean.
It is. It's surprisingly clean.
But it's the DR650 engine, man.
Yeah, that's brutal.
So
it just rolls away and it just sounds like a DR650.
yeah. So
All right, let's rate it.
Yeah, I feel like for price, this one's a little expensive for being so lukewarm on it.
Yeah, I'd say like a 4 for
Yeah.
price.
Crustiness, though.
It's clean. I
very
gotta give it
clean.
like a 9. It's really nice.
And then the Gixxerness, I feel like this one's pretty low.
Low, yeah. I don't think it'd make a worthy contender, and it is different from the Gixxer, but not in an interesting way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it like a 5.
I think a 5 is fair.
Yeah.
18 for the Suzuki Savage. Next up
Right.
is Tube, and Tube found us a bike in Houston. Houston has a -3 to it.
So it better be good.
It better be damn good,
And
but
it's
it is
looking pretty good.
It's real good.
Oh man, a Buell Blast.
The yellow Buell Blast too. This is the super neon color that you'd see at all the rider classes at
Yes.
Harley before.
This is like the OG American MSF bike.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute wretched pile of garbage motorcycle. There was one in front of here the other day. Do you remember? And it
Yep.
took off, and we were like, "That is the shittiest little bike."
Yup. And this didn't even get the gas tank in the frame
No.
treatment. It's just got a.
Buell was like, "No, it's not
There's
worth
no
it.
saving this one.
This is fine."
This is a really worthy contender.
Honestly,
right here.
yeah. No, this really is, and it's listed as sport bike.
Yup.
The only thing about this is it said it was posted 1 year ago. So
Which
the poster may or may not be dead at this point after
Yeah.
a year.
like how has it just been sitting up there?
Yeah, 2009 Buell Blast, 2,200 miles, little scratches, great tires, clean title in hand. This is a worthy contender if it's still available, I will say.
Yes.
This is going to rate very, very highly.
So in terms of price, this price is
Bang on the money.
Right
it's
on.
$1,600. We don't have to negotiate even. We're just like,
No.
it's fine. This is like a 10 for price. We're basically there.
Yeah.
Because we can. It's been posted for a year. I think we can get $100 off.
Yep. Crustiness. This isn't very crusty.
Not
It's
really.
real clean.
It's pretty good. The only reason I wouldn't want to make this bike win is because Tube did will the Gixxer 250 into existence as well. It would be quite cosmic if he willed the Buell into existence as well too.
I don't, if it's been posted for a year and it's been sitting for a year,
That's not good.
that's a little rough. I don't know if
Yeah,
we'd
I
have to
think-
talk to this person.
Yeah, I think for crustiness, let's give this like an 8.5 because
Yeah.
we don't quite know.
Because there could be some demons lurking in that. And then Gixxerness, this is high.
This is high.
This is high.
This is very high. I want to give it like a 9.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Which means that is 24.5 for that Buell.
That's including the adjustment, right?
That's including the adjustment of -3.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Tube swung for the fences on that one.
Jeez.
So next up we have Free Clinic with Shade Tree Surgeon's favorite right
Whoa! Wait, $500? Oh my God,
Yep.
that can't be right, can it?
I mean, it's a Goldwing from the 80s. They're not worth that much money.
Goldwing runs decent, been sitting for a year.
Look at the one piston caliper up front.
Runs great, but don't stop. Well, you got to think though. Goldwing riders probably use a rear brake, right? More than anything
Yep.
to slow down this barge.
It's like, it's really nice on one side,
Yeah.
and then you go to the other side, and
Dude,
it looks like
those-
shit.
Those bags have just been, man.
That-
those look like they've been through Vietnam. Those look rough.
We don't even, do we see the dash on it? Kind of, sorta.
Yeah.
This one's a crusty G-Wing
Oh, that's
right
a
here.
big crusty energy, dude.
Yeah. But the dad energy alone, like I'm tempted to do this just to be like, Shade Tree, I'm with you, baby. If it runs,
Yeah.
get yourself some.
I like the quilted seats.
Yeah.
Wow. The G-Wing, dude. All right.
So price
I mean, it's a 10.
$500.
It's $500. 10. It's a $500 motorcycle.
might as well be free.
Yeah, 10.
Crustiness. This one's a little high.
It's bad.
It's like Two-Face here.
Yeah, I think like a 4.
Yeah.
Tops.
And it's been sitting for a year.
Yeah.
6 carbs.
Yeah.
Jixerness.
I think it's quite high for Jixerness, but in a different dimension than the Buell Blast. You
Yeah.
know, like we could have a lot of fun with this. I want to say like an 8.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we could definitely just scramble the Goldwing.
Like those guys, the Los Honduras guy on YouTube. Yeah.
That would be nuts. I think
an
pretty
8.
high.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a 19, including the adjustment down.
Yeah,
so
because it's in Houston. It's kind of far.
yeah, well, College Station, but pretty close.
Yeah, whatever.
So next up, we got Mr. Chicken Salad on toast with this right here for us. Another Buell Blast.
My God.
Even cheaper, too.
Spite it's perfect.
This is, honestly, it is perfect. Even, wait.
It has a lightning bolt on the tank. It's perfect.
It really is. It really is perfect.
God's most perfect creature sitting before us.
But why does it look like this if it's been in a garage?
Because it's a Buell Blast. So he says 2001 Buell Blast. Wow, so it's 20 years old. Has 5,000 miles. I have the title for it and it runs well. I'm willing to sell or trade. Send me an offer.
I mean, it's already got the exhaust on there. It's ready to rock and roll.
It's good to go.
And it's got the lightning bolt, too.
And it's in San Antonio, which is not far. And it was listed 4 weeks ago, so it's probably still up.
The owner has probably not died.
Probably not. And I guarantee you it's not hot off the presses. So
yeah. And
this could be the one.
It's even cheaper at $1,400.
Yeah, so I think this is the one here.
Yeah, this is feeling real good.
Price is a 10.
That's a 10.
10 within budget.
Crustiness. It is a little crusty.
Yeah, it's definitely crustier than the other one. The other one is way cleaner, but
it's
got
not
a sick lightning bolt on it.
Yeah.
The meme potential is so high.
It's so high.
God.
Like I could just imagine the reveal video. We shoot it with the super high energy that we had for the Busa one.
Yeah, we use like Thunderbolt like sound effects and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's feeling good.
The crustiness though, I think a 7 is in order. It's a 20-year-old Buell Blast.
Yeah. And then the jixeriness, this is very high.
I want to give it like a 9.
Yeah.
Because we gave the other Buell a 9 for jixerness, and this one has a lightning bolt on the tank, so I want to give it like a 9.5.
I think the 9.5 just for the lightning bolt.
Yeah. 26.5. That's got to be the winner.
That really, it feels like the winner.
There's got to be, unless there's something else that is just literally a perfect bike, that's got to be it. But let's keep going.
Our next one comes to us from Monkish. And it is this atrocious little KLR 650.
Oh no.
I like the pink.
Yeah, the Barbie car pink. The busted up odometer.
Is it rattled?
The brand new. Yeah, oh man.
That is real bad. That makes my DRZ look good.
The brand new luggage rack? Look at that.
That is really shiny. Ooh, baby.
Man.
Oh, man, that's rough.
That's rough.
The DRZ's pipe looked like that, and it had holes in it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. It has highway pegs on there, though.
That's good.
This dude's been adventuring on this bike.
Well, clearly, it looked like it was upside down at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, did he do the doohickey mod?
Did he do the doohickey mod? He says the odometer broke at 35K, so it might have 10 million miles on it.
He says, screaming deal.
It doesn't really feel like a screaming deal.
It's $1,900. That doesn't feel like a screaming deal. Yeah, it feels like I'm screaming about the deal.
Yeah. Did full Arizona BDR on bike.
Less than a year ago with 0 issues. That must be some big dual sport ride or something.
Yeah. So, price, it's
a little spicy, but I bet you we could
is.
talk it down. Why don't we give it like an 8.5 for the price?
Yeah, an 8.5.
Yeah. That fucking Buell Blast is going to win. There's no way.
No way.
Crustiness, man. That's a crusty fucking piece of shit, isn't it?
It's a crusty nugget.
Yeah. I'm going to give it like a 4.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
So, 4, and then Jixerness.
I mean, yeah, I could see it. I mean, if we put out a video with the pink KLR that's beat to shit, people are like, well, that's interesting.
They'd certainly click on it and then they'd click right away.
Yeah, maybe a 7.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So that is a 19.5.
Yeah.
So the next one comes to us from Phantom 10792 with a Dallas bike. Dallas even further than Houston, so it got a negative 5-point adjustment.
Yeah.
So that one is this Hyosung
Whoa!
GT250, baby.
Brands, is 2016? How much mileage on it? It looks new.
I didn't know it was a V-twin. Look, it's got a little V-twin in it.
Whoa! Little baby V-twin. A 250cc V-twin. How
125
cute.
cylinder. That thing's, God, it's fuck ugly. Oh, man. That's real bad.
That's not a great looking bike.
154
miles. That thing's brand new.
Somebody bought it and was like,
this sucks.
I'm out. Man, what an ugly motorcycle. Yeah. But, I mean...
this has, like, Gixxer 250 energy, though.
It really does.
This is a bike that could genuinely give the Gixxer a run for its money in the similar category, you know? I feel like this bike would spur the interest of our Asian and Indian audience quite a bit, because I bet you this bike is sold there.
And it'll sound better than the Gixxer.
Go back a couple photos. Look how cheap this... Look at the front wheel assembly. Look how cheap that is. It tilts to one side.
Yeah, definitely not lined up correctly.
Yeah.
That's a little rough. But hey, the Gixxer's the same way.
All right.
So, price.
The price is spicy, unfortunately. I think we give this like it's like almost $3,000. I think we got to give it, what did we give the other one that was almost $3,000? A 4?
So, yeah, 4 for the $3,000
Okay.
scoot.
Yeah, we got to give that like a 4.5 or something.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a 4.5. And then crustiness, brand
spanking new. I think 10. It's perfect.
And then Gixxeriness.
This is the tough one because, you know, it could be memeable and fun and, you know, what do you think?
I mean, it's a little baby 250 V-twin.
Yeah.
We could do some fun stuff with it.
It's true.
But
8?
Yeah, I think an 8. However, I don't think it's going to overcome that negative 5-point situation.
And the other
there.
Buell is so powerful.
It is the lightning bolt, man.
It's so good.
So our next one comes to us from Nitro.sc. It is that.
Whoa, okay. 2006 Suzuki GS. Is it a 500?
It must be.
It must be. It is. Oh, God.
This is rough.
What the fuck is going on with the subframe?
It's like this is definitely...
Just got it back from a buddy who was doing some work on it. Mileage unknown, and I do not have the title for it.
Ooh. That's a disqualifier right there.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that.
No title bikes. That's brutal.
Yeah.
So I think, do we zero that one out too?
I would say so, yeah.
Unfortunately, that one is going to get a 0. So next up, we have Asocial with perhaps the most peculiar thing. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Fiero-powered Goldwing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say.
It's got a little suicide shifter, too. Gotta love that.
Because you'll want to kill yourself after you ride it.
Do you ride it or do you drive it?
Yeah, great question. I don't know. And I don't want to find out.
And what's with the wood boxes?
I like the wood boxes. You pull it out and it's your casket.
It's got a 4-cylinder engine, automatic transmission, and nothing else.
Can we disqualify this because it's 3 wheels? And we have literally no place to put half of a Fiero.
Yeah, we can't really put.
I know the Fiero is
anyway.
a small car, but I really can't fit this anywhere. It's gigantic.
Yeah, I think that would also get a disqualifier just on that one. But
yeah,
it's still really cool to see something this stupid.
This is classic Craigslist stupidity found on Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see it.
Gotta zero it out. So
yeah,
with our lowest score being a -5. Ooh boy.
It was that wretched GS in Dallas.
Yep. So our winner is the Lightning Bolt Buell Blast.
So we're going to reach out to this person who owns this Buell, try to get in contact with them, and I guess I'm going to pull up with my truck and load this in the back and bring it back here.
Then we're going to have a Buell Blast with the Lightning Bolt.
Are the engine cases painted as well?
I think they're just black.
They're just black? Okay. Oh, yeah, they are just black.
Yeah.
Man, that bike's a piece of shit. Holy cow, dude.
So that is our first place prize. And
this week, the first place just means that it's the bike we're buying,
it's
right?
the bike we're buying.
Well, we're going to try to buy. You know, why do I get the feeling this guy's going to be, like, hard to, you know, talk to and come across and all that? Yeah.
But, hey, worst comes to worst, we could drive down to Houston and get Tube's Buell Blast.
We could, yeah.
Which is actually our second place prize.
Yep. So if that doesn't work out, we're getting Tube's Buell.
And then
third place is the scooter shootout.
It's the scooters, baby.
Oh, man. I kind of hope that the Buells don't work.
So we can get a scooter.
Get a scoot.
So we have the Piaggio BV350 versus the nerdiest two-wheeled vehicle in the world.
The nerd scoot has to win.
I think it does too.
It's just so funny and stupid.
It's so powerful.
It's so stupid and goofy.
It's just it is a work of atrocious art.
Yeah, that's third place.
Yep.
So if we cannot get either Buells, we're gonna buy the most nerd-mobile scooter
ever.
Literally ever.
And then we're gonna do some horrible things to that scooter.
Yes. That's the type where, like, I'm not even going to put the kickstand down. I'll just drop it. I'll just leave it where it is.
Just leave it where it lies.
Alrighty, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's Yamcast. We're happy if you made it all the way to the end here. And we'll catch you on the next one. See you later. Oh, didn't see you there. Why don't you watch this video right over here while you're at it? Because this one's over, actually. There's nothing left to see. But if you click this one right here, you could keep watching your sweet Papa Yam on video here on the internet on YouTube. Click the video. Do it.